Yo, what's going on, guys? Okay, so I'm just drinking my coffee now. And, I was just thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something a little bit different today. A little bit of TA, but for the most part, I kind of want to look through a couple plays here because right now, obviously, the market's been correcting, right? So a lot of plays that were doing absolutely phenomenal have pulled back, some 50%, some 20%, some more, right? So instead of looking at like the negative side of the charts and everything like that, because a lot of stuff does look a little crappy, I want to look at it from a different perspective right now, because what I'm thinking about and what I've been doing is buying a lot of this stuff now. I've been slowly buying more and more stuff on the cheap. Because the best thing about everything going on right now, from a positive standpoint, is that we know that this stuff's correcting, but we also know that a lot of this stuff is going to go back up. Some stuff's going to go up way higher than it is now. So instead of looking at the negatives right now, I want to think about some plays that are down that we should take advantage of and start loading up on. So, obviously we have Tesla here, okay? And you can see what's going on with Tesla a little bit. We had a death cross on the daily here. Okay, we had this big, gigantic rising channel here that it has been doing amazing, performing right on through here constantly, right? And then we had a breakout of this rising channel, and then we rolled over and we fell all the way back down, and we caught support perfectly on this bottom trend line here. So there's a couple different ways you could play this here. Now, if you really like Tesla, which I don't see who wouldn't, you can put some buy orders in on this support line if it holds 549-ish. Okay, this is where my bottom support trend line is, 546.54. And that's exactly where we touched. So it wouldn't be too bad to buy some from a support here, or if you're long-term investing, you could buy some around these support areas. I have a support at 590, and I have a support at 569, and I have a lower support, which is the 100 EMA, at 479. If we were to break out of this rising channel here and to go lower, I have a breakdown target of 380. But this is one that, although it could break down from this rising channel and go lower, you might want to start picking some up here anytime it comes down in this 546 area here. And even if it falls below and gets an hourly close below, you could get some opportunities to buy some lower here too. So that's one we're going to want to, maybe start nibbling at a little bit whenever it comes down to that 540 area here, even if you put some limit buys in. Okay. Obviously, you guys know I love NNDM long term, and that one is in crazy buy zones, okay? Because I was trying to pick some up around 13, thinking that was a steal. Now it's at 7, so I'm picking them up around 740s, 7s, and it came down as low as 650. So that's one we're going to want to keep our eyes on as well. TTOO. This one is coming down, and this one I played here. I have video on it. We played this pattern here, and it broke up, and it wasn't able to catch support where I had, originally took some profits in this area, and it went up as high as 380, which is crazy. I had a target way up here, and we didn't quite make that target, but that's why I took profits on the way up. And this one's coming back down here. So although it's going to take some time, I have a feeling it's probably going to, I don't think it's going to come this, well, actually, you never really know. You don't know how low it's going to come, and it's really hard to say. But if I was to make a guesstimate here, we could be looking at it coming. It almost touched this area. So I think that this area here, roughly around $1.35, is going to be a very, very good support level, as low as $1.23, and ultimate low, which I don't think it would go as low as that because it had such a good run here. I don't know, but it's it's hard to say, right? It's very hard to say. But I think that buying some of this around, if you can get it between $1, you have a couple different moving averages here: $1.54, $1.67, and $1.39, and then on the low side, $1.25. Obviously, it's not going to come down to 77 cents, but if it did, that would be something to start looking into, loading some up here. So although we have some more downside to go here, it looks like, this is one I would keep on the radar because it performed really freaking well. So, I mean, you don't have to start loading up completely, but it could come down to this trend line support on the RSI here. It could go lower. So this one performed amazing. Now, if you don't want to rush right into it, which, you know, you don't need to rush into any of these things. You're going to have plenty of time to buy. You know, you could set some buy orders around this 50 where it bounced off on the weekly around $1.35, $1.37. But that's one to keep on the radar there because for like a smaller, something that's cheaper, you could look at something like that. We already know Edit. I love Edit. I love Edit in this anywhere in the $40 to $37 range here. It looks like we wicked down as low as $36.50, but we have a 50 EMA here at $38.42, and then I have my trend support at $39.82. So that's one that I would pick up some for sure if you don't already own it. Start loading some up on that one as well. That one's a really, really good performer, and it's going to do really well long term for sure. And, you know, the news only came out a little bit on Edit 101, and you saw how crazy it did. And didn't even get FDA approved on what was going on, I'm pretty sure. So that's one that you're going to want to keep your eyes peeled on. Neo, although I have a little bit lower it could go here, if you can get it anywhere from this 31 to as low as 27, if it does come that low, I have a target here at 29.40. Personally, I wouldn't mind picking some up in that range there. And like I said, you have a 50 EMA on the weekly at $25, $26 that it could bounce off of, as low as $20, but I don't know if it's going to get slapped that hard. I think it got slapped pretty hard already. Hard to say right now, but just one to keep in mind because this one is going to do really, really well in the future. And, you know, if you could get Tesla down in this range, how would you feel? You know what I mean? That's kind of how I would look at it, like this. And how's it looking on the weekly RSI real quick? So, you know, it broke down from here. So it could potentially come a little bit lower here, but it's getting pretty close to being reset, which is nice. So, you know, this is one I would keep on the radar here for sure. So that's Neo. And Seago. This one performed absolutely phenomenal. Although it broke some like upper support, it did seem to buy back onto this. Actually, no, it didn't yet. But it got support right here on the 200 EMA. So this is around $9. So if you can scoop this one up around $9, this is one really good for long term when people start, you know, when the 5G stuff starts really happening. So, you know, this thing ran all the way up to $21, and I bought this thing at $9.37. You can see on my charts here, I've been playing this thing a while as well, and I bought this breakout right here, and I actually sold it pretty soon because I only had a smaller target here off of this area here at like $15. So I rode it from $9.37 to $15, and you know, obviously I sold early, but that's just because that's how I am. But you know, if people were buying up here, they might have got slapped when it dropped here, right? So, you know, this one wicked all the way down to $9. Could you get it at $8.86, $8.90? You might be able to, but this trend line support here, anything under this trend line support, I think, is a great steal because, you know, once it gets back above there, you're going to be locked and loaded. Let's see a couple other plays here that I've been eyeballing and I've seen done really well. Ones that we want to look at here. Visa's obviously performing really well, but it actually, depending on if it takes too long to get out of here, this could be having a very nice breakout here, actually. If you look on the weekly, we're about to get a MACD cross here. So this one, for me, I would keep this one on the radar and go long if you see it closing above 222. And then just keep a stop loss somewhere down here if you're longer term. I mean, you could start loading up here. I mean, it looks like it's going to break out very soon here. So it's really getting squeezed, and it has room to go up here. So I would keep your eye on this one as well. Looks like it's creating a small little falling channel here. You know, this thing looks geared and ready to go. So I think that this guy here is going to be performing really well. And it already has been, right, through this whole correction here. So if it gets above 216, 217, and gets that hourly close there, you could be seeing a nice run up here, and it might actually break this area of resistance it's been trying to get above for a long time. It looks like it has a very good breakout coming, and this thing has a breakout target of 225 coming up very soon. You're getting a couple golden crosses here coming in as well, so I would keep your eye on this one. But at the same time, though, seeing how everything's correcting here, you would want to keep your stop loss somewhere down here below 208 area, because it's been following this very, very good. But if it does have some kind of major correction out of this pattern here, then obviously you're going to be really, really down on this play if it does actually fall lower, which is why I usually just go long somewhere above it, but in the safer point here, and wait and see if it's going to be able to get any type of close or support above there. But the breakout target for it, believe it or not, and that's not going to happen in a day, $300 roughly, $298. So this thing is right at the end of the apex. So although it could crash through this apex here, we want to keep an eye on it, because we might be able to get some big money gains off of it if it doesn't fall. And like I said, 222 roughly, you want to see it above there and get a close. You can see it's tested this trend line many times. So if it is trying to break out here, then then we're going to be looking for some big gains off of this one. It looks like it's trying to break out here, so we'll have to see how it goes. So I'll keep an eye on Visa. That one's already up right now, but obviously you have to keep an eye on that there, just in case. That could be a nice breakout trade, is what I'm saying. We already know GE. I started buying GE a little bit. KLDO, this one, yeah, it looks like shit, and it's way down here, but like I said, we got some buy zones down here I'm looking for. Buying it in this area, to me, even if it comes down to like $8, that's going to be a play right there that you load up on for longer term. KLDO is going to be a great company, although it's acting the way it is. HYLN, this one, I bought this one around $12 yesterday, and although HYLN has been a scary stock, right? If you're not already in this thing, then I think getting it around this anywhere from $12 to $12.50 is a steal to hold long term. This company is phenomenal. The stock right now, yeah, it doesn't look so good with what's going on here, but one of these days they're going to come out with some reports that people are going to be like, what the fuck, why didn't I buy this thing down in the $12 range when it gave it to me? To me, this is a killer buying opportunity, and if you're holding this thing long term, this is holy crap, God just gave us a gift buying anything below $13.72, because it will buy back up to this $13.72. And even if it goes sideways here for another 3-4 months, when it breaks this thing, oh my God, people are going to be hating their life that they did not load up on this thing and they hated it so much. So HYLN, that one, phenomenal. And at these prices, I would have never guessed that it would have given us those prices here. So let's see some other stuff, FSR, Canopy Growth. I kind of want to look at this one here. So Canopy Growth here. You could look for some buying opportunities right now while it's doing what it's doing here. It could come down a little bit lower here. I'm going to show you some support areas. 26.39, which it looks like it came to 27.98, which is going to be some decent support. If it wants to come all the way down here, believe it or not, you have 21.94 as a low, and then you have some pretty good support on these EMAs here. The 100 and the 200 are right there together, right at 25.44. So that's going to be a very, very key factor of support here. So I would keep your eyes on that one as well, because during this correction here, although it's going to have some downside, overall, this is going to be a killer stock here. Even if it comes back down here into this 25 area or as low as $22, this is one to scoop up. Blink killed it, right? I have some pretty low targets on Blink, but we just had a weekly We had a weekly at MACD cross, and this is about as low as we went so far. It was $25. If you can see this thing anywhere in the $17 range, scoop it up. I mean, I like it even at this 25 if you start piecing at it a little bit. Although it just was oversold and everything like that and needs some big correction here, this thing will perform great long term. So I would scoop some up on this thing too. These are a bunch of different things that you can get some buying opportunities in. PAR, this one's crazy. So although it looked like it broke this trend, I would wait a little bit longer and see if this rising channel does break down here, because it could come down pretty far. But the weekly EMA here is at $62. If it does break this rising channel, which right now it's holding up very freaking well, it could come down as low as $50. If you see it at $50, I would definitely be buying this thing. That one's going to be bomb if you can get it at 50. Givo, this one, it's getting perfect support right here at the 21 EMA on the weekly. So that was right around like $5-6. So if you can get this thing around $6, although it could come a little bit lower here, right? If it did wick down here, it's going to get bought up. So I don't think it's going to come below this very, very good support here. I could be wrong on this one, but just off the quick looking here, I think we're going to have very good support somewhere around this $6 range here. So I would scoop some of this one up and hold it in the bags. IDEX, you guys know I love this one. Although it got rejected and did a lot of things that I would have never expected it to do here, that's okay. So far, it's catching support right on, almost on this perfect trend line here, which right now is at 257, 250, 263. If you can get this around 263, I think that's a fucking steal of a deal. You have some support down here at $2 and $1.76 if it does decide to come down here any lower. So I just want to show you guys that one there. So I would start scooping some of this one up for long-term play. It could come down a little lower here. It does look like this is going to get a death cross. There is some bullish divergence on the daily here, but there's no signs of bouncing. So the next support down here is $1.89. But like I said, I like getting this thing. I don't even mind getting this thing if you can get it at a little bit at 250. Maybe buy a little bit more if it comes down to this, anything in this $1.92 level. If you put a $2 buy order in or something like that, right? $1.90, $2, that's going to be a steal. We know we like this NNDM. NNDM could come a little bit lower. We do have a death cross here coming in. I'm a little nervous on that one. But the next support down there is roughly 550. So we'll have to see how that plays out. But I think it's going to hold up just fine. We'll have to see, though. I could be wrong. All right. But, this is one I would start buying some around the $7 range. And if it comes lower, average in a little bit more. This one is going to do really well, even if it takes another few months, because it could be building another rounding structure here. So if you draw a trend line here from some of this like longer term support like this, you can kind of see where we're at. I didn't quite draw that perfectly, and it probably bounced right off of that long-term, probably bounced right off of this long-term support here. If you look at it like that, we broke it a tiny hair, right? But that's going to be some very, very strong support right around this 711, 698 area here. So I would look for that area. Like I said, it could have one strong wick down to 550. If you wanted to put some buy orders there, it may not get filled. But if it did, that's an area there. But this is going to be your trend line here. If it rides here for a little bit. Let's see some other stuff here that I really liked. TNXP. This was a great play. It came all the way down below 88 cents. This would have been a scoop up of a lifetime. Could come a little bit lower. You have trend support way down here at 68.70 cents. You could buy some around this 88 cents, and you could put some buy orders way down here at 70 cents. You might get filled on that. You might not. But anything below 88 cents to me is a good buy on this thing. It has some chance to go up pretty high when this correction's done. What else do we have? Tattooed Chef. This one. Although it could come lower here, right? Could come all the way down here to $16. I like this thing if you can get anything in this range. I'd wait a little bit longer and see how it's going to play out here, but I think it could come down to $17 or $16, as low as $15.61. So I would put some buy orders down there and scoop that up, because I think this thing is going to do phenomenal long term, but I think we can get some cheap prices on it. So keep your eye on that one. Tattooed Chef. If you're already in it, don't be afraid. Just hold it. It's not a big deal. G-Nog. This one, I had a trend line support way down here, right? 11.76. If you can get this thing anywhere, $13 is good, $12 is excellent. If you can get it around $11.50, that's going to be a really good play. This thing went all the way up to $28. It's not going to be done. Okay, just right now, there's nobody interested in it because that's just how it is. It's speculation stuff. But if you start getting some averages around this $11, $12, you hold that thing, it's going to be great. CTRM looks like it's creating a potential cup and handle here. It actually bounced almost perfectly off of my support line here, but it bounced off this daily 50 EMA here, 64 cents, and it bought right back up. This thing is powerful. So, if you can get any of this thing anywhere in this box here, I like it at 74. I like it at 80, but we just got that buy up. You might be able to get it a little cheaper here. So look for anything between 70 and 80 cents here. Okay, this one to me is going to do pretty well, even though, some people hate on it. Some people love it here. Let's look at the weekly if we can get it even cheaper. The weekly, it looks like we're about to get a golden cross. You have a 21-week EMA at 45 cents. If you can get it at 45 cents, I would load the boat. But it looks like the major support here right now is 65 cents. So that's something to keep in mind there for something like that. IPV. This one is, it's holy crap, did it fucking shit the bed, right? I like this thing at $16 personally, and it went way down. So, we went all the way down to almost $11. If you can get it around $11, you have a weekly EMA here at 13.76. It's probably going to come back and try to test that pretty soon. We're just getting this weekly cross. But if you can get this thing down to like $10, $11, I would load the bag on that one. This one, even though it's a speculation play for right now, technically, that's the owners of Apple. Well, engineers that used to work at Apple that created a chip for self-driving cars. That's going to be huge at some point, especially if they get some deals signed. But it's a SPAC, so APXT, this one. I've heard some great things about it. It's got some good stuff in March. It could make another big M here. Who knows? Who knows how this is going to turn out? But getting this thing down in the $10 range, $11 range, even $11.63, I like that. I like that range. I would start buying this thing at these cheap prices. I mean, this is a lot of stuff, obviously. Some of them, some people might think, oh, these are all shitty picks. But to me, when we're down as much as we are here, we, when they come back up, because they will come back, they're going to be crushing it, and you're getting these things in the cheap. LOGC, this one here, I know it's doing some funky shit here, but it's landing on every single support possible. Take a look on the weekly here. We tested this trend line here, 734. Tested this perfect support box, 763. It's in a big bull flag here. It could come down again, right? Depending on if it breaks down or not. We could come down and test this bottom line here, 653. But we have good support at 721, and we have good support at 737. We have a weekly MACD cross here that could be coming in, so this could have a little bit of a drop here, depending on how it reacts here. But this wasn't a bull flag here, and obviously, with shit going on, it's having a little bit of a correction here. If you can get this thing at 650, 660, I would be 100% a buyer. Anywhere, even in the 683 it came to, I missed that drop. But, I think it might come down and try to test somewhere on this normal line. It's been likened to test here. If you can scoop some of this up around 650, 660, 680, I would load that up because this thing's going. I got targets up here higher than $14, believe it or not. It's just taking some time here. But it's still in this beautiful pattern here, and it's going to break out here. Even if it takes a little bit of time, you'll be happy. It could be creating an inverse head and shoulders here. Left shoulder, big head, and this could be a right shoulder it's creating, and it might just consolidate somewhere between this 7 and 760 area here. So keep that one in mind. Fuel cell. This one came all the way down, tested its weekly EMA. It's tough to say how low this one's going to go right now. You got a 100 EMA here at 1019. You get your 21 EMA at 1187. I think it's going to do well once it's all done correcting here, but it's hard to say how low that thing could go. So just keep an eye on that one, fuel cell. What else do we got? Fix. This one of my favorite plays that went completely to shit. Well, guess what I did? I bought some of this right at $9 even. All right, let's see where it came to. Came to $8.85. I saw it at $9 and I went, holy shit, I got to get this thing. I don't even care, right? It looks like it's in a terrible downtrend, but look at this pattern. This is a huge pattern. I have targets for $31. I said to myself, if I ever got this thing at $9, I would load the bags. Well, guess what? I'm loading the bags at $9. It hit this trend line so far support. There is a lower trend line at $8 even. If I see it at $8, I'm scooping it up. If I see it at $9 again, I'm going to buy more. This one I'm holding on to. I think it's right at the end of this apex, no matter what kind of fake out it has. Looks a lot like LGC, although it's getting hit hard. I think it's going to do really, really fucking well. It's just going to take a little bit more time here. You know, whether it trends down, holds on to this line here before shooting up. But this is one to keep an eye on, in my opinion. I'm buying it down here at $9 now. CCIV. This one, I don't know what to say on this one. If you like this one, you know, you got some cheap prices. You could get it around like this 1970 if you'd like. That's really all I can say. If you can get it in the 20s, it might be a good buy. QuantumScape. I love QuantumScape. Look at that. I've had this trend line here. Trend line support. It hit this perfectly. I love this thing. If you can get this thing in the $40 range, if you can get this thing in the 40, where it is now, 40, 47, QuantumScape, I try to get it around like 40 personally. This one's going to do fucking great. It already has. You're getting that on the cheap. What else do we got? CLVR. You know I love this one. All right. It bounced so far off of all of my support levels on this way down. I haven't got to put too many purchases in just yet. But look at this. It came down to my support level, 1041. This was an area when I made a video before. I said if it can get a close above 1040, 1050, it's a buy, and we'll ride this thing up. And look where it went. Now it's coming back down to test this same support area. So you get support at 1041, and if it does fall below here and we keep getting corrections, you have very strong support at 930, 940 area. I will load the bags again if it wants to come down here. Could be creating something, a cup and handle right here, or actually it kind of looks like a cup and handle, and I would start loading on this thing. But if it doesn't create a cup and handle, it comes lower, this could be a bigger W. This is a marijuana play. This company is fucking great. I like everything about it. I think it's creating a cup and handle. I don't know for sure, but it sure looks like one if you ask me. But if it comes any lower than that, then, you know, no. So I would be buying the shit out of this one personally. RMO, we talked about this one. Okay, this one, yes, it's getting hit very fucking hard. It got extremely hit. This is ridiculous. It went down to 838. Absolutely crazy, right? You know, it's up to you. Do your own research on this, how you feel about that. That's a SPAC. I believe it's a SPAC because it really acting like one. For me, if I can get this thing anywhere in $8 to $9 range, I would buy a few, but it might be too scary and you might not want to screw with it for a while. I completely understand. I got railed on this one. I bought this thing up in the support range at 1248, and I held this thing until I got my stop loss hit right around here. So I lost 250 on that one. Unfortunately, I had to cut my losses on that one just in case it went to zero. So that's why I'm saying be careful on that one. But I would have never saw it coming down this low. This is absolutely crazy. The company is great. Just the charts, I guess nobody's wanting it. Blrx. This one here, we've made a video on here. We talked about this bottom support line being huge. It could fall below it, okay, guys? It could fall below it, but right now it's wicked below and bought back up. This bottom support line is right at 276. I like it in that area. And you have your 200 EMA here at 260 and 100 EMA at 225. Anything between 225 and 274, I think is a great buy on this thing. I don't think that this is going to be going to zero, and I don't think it's going to go down into these $1.50, $1.70 areas. you have very strong support in these 3 ranges, I'd be loading up on that one. It has very, very good supports going on here. What else do we got? DocuSign. Although we had this breakdown of this beautiful, what perceived as a bull flag here, we're getting some pretty low targets down here. Could come down a little lower. I do have a target down here at 177 to 170. You know, I like 185. I like this 190. I've been buying this whole entire dip. I've been buying. So I've been buying at 190. I've been buying a little at 200, and I'm just going to keep on buying this one because I think this one's going to do fucking phenomenal. You know, I have some pretty high targets when it does get back in here, and I guarantee you that it will. Even if it drops all the way down to 170, it will buy back up. It'll get back in this bull flag, and even if it takes 4 or 5 months from now, it's going to break out of this bull flag here. So just getting a little bit of a correction here. This one I'm definitely buying, and I'm loading up on it. Could come a little bit lower on the RSI potentially, but it did test the weekly 50 EMA here. Actually broke through it a little at 194, but it managed to buy back up. It came down to 189. I saw it at 190. I said, all right, I got to buy some in case it doesn't go to my target here. Although it still could. I love this thing, so I'm buying that one. I did buy some CLOV, believe it or not. I'm a little bit of a savage, right? I saw it at like 6 something, and I went, you know what? I'm gonna get in. I got it at 659, believe it or not. I just put $100 in. I didn't even care. I just said, I'm gonna buy it at 650. Why not, right? Torch, you guys know Torch was doing great. This one could come a little bit lower here, but we'll see. It might be done. If it's not done, you could see it around $1.30. I don't know. NVCN, this one here. It broke through a lot of support, guys. Although it broke through a lot of support, it still is creating chart structure. It still is looking good here, in my opinion. I like this. So anyway, I think that this is pretty much summing it up, but I'd buy some of this. I'd keep an eye on this. I got to let you guys go. We do have charts. We do have support way down here, but I don't think it's going to go that low. We'll have to see what happens here. I think we're going to get a turnaround very soon. And you get your weekly EMA here at $1.26. So I don't think it's going to come down as low as this anymore. I think that flash crash was done, but we'll see what happens. But I would buy some of this on the low for sure. It's going to perform really, really well over time. I have $10 targets for it, believe it or not, when it does finally break out. And it will eventually break out. Just going to take some time here. All right, so, all right, guys, that's it. Hope you liked this video. Hit the like button. Peace.